boss in Bajaj.
Okay, ji.
So what happened? I told him, "Arey, now Gita is at its peak. I am learning so many things. It is so wonderful now. I feel very sorry to have even a break of today. But my train was at 6:50 today. Now they have postponed it. The train is now at 0:50 hours. So I thought
Okay,
Lord
ji.
Krishna has given me an
Ji.
opportunity. I
Thank
wanted
you,
to
ji.
join.
Thank you. Happy that you could join. Hari Om, Hari Om. When Lakshmi Narayan ji was there, he really wanted to attend the Gita session from Atlanta. The timing was not matching. It was his work timing. He actually prayed to Krishna that my meetings should not be conducted during that period. And somehow for that entire month, he did not have any meeting. He said immediately after sessions were over, the meeting started. So I think all of us, when we connect to the Gita, we try
That's
to
the
connect to the...
intervention of the Supreme, isn't it? That's the
Yes, yes, sir.
intervention of the Supreme.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that is a personal connect. And that is something which only the individual can understand. Somebody else may feel, what is this? Is it superstition? Is it actually something? Is it some experience or it's not? Those who have experience can, it is like, Yah Pashyati, Sah Pashyati, as Krishna says in the Gita. Anyway, let us begin. It is time. I'll begin with the invocation. As usual, my ritual, like in the aeroplane, the attendant says, यात्रीगण कृपया ध्यान दीजिए अपना video feed on कर दीजिए. Those who can turn, please turn on. Those who cannot, it's fine. Nobody is going to say anything. If you are eating also, you are most welcome to eat. No one will ask for a share also. So please feel free to turn on the video feed. All right, let us begin with the invocation. Hari Om. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. So
Hari
we
Om.
enter. Hari Om ji. Hari Om Shada ji. Hari Om. We enter into what is the 10th Adhyay of the Gita. Before that, let us have a brief recap of what we saw in the last Adhyay. The last Adhyay, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam. Krishna says, Arjuna, I'll come to you. I will unmute you, Badrinaran ji. Just a minute. So Krishna says, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam. I'm going to reveal to you this great king knowledge. This is the highest knowledge, which is resplendent, which is purest. Pavitram, idam uttamam, it is the best knowledge. That knowledge, after realizing which, doubts will vanish. You will not have those doubts also, and you will receive that highest wisdom. And that was the entire Adhyay. So can anybody tell me, like I think Badrinanji, if you wish to unmute, most welcome. Anybody else also? What was this Raja Vidya? Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Rajavidya is the highest form of knowledge
Ji.
which the divine is passing on to every living being.
Ji.
And if we follow it with all the sincerity and with the aspiration that we have to get connected to the Supreme, then that divinity flows into the individual and he gets transformed.
Okay, Ji. That is beautifully said. Okay. Badrinanji has given a nice, what is his understanding of Rajavidya. Anybody else would like to share something what we saw in the last Adhyay? Yes, please. Most welcome. So we can go ahead. Yes, please. Anybody? We started off from Sloka 17, I think, yesterday. Badrinanji wants to continue. All right, Ji.
Yeah, shall I? Since
Of course.
yesterday, 17 sloka onwards, I would like to take up some few points which really, which I liked.
Okay. Okay, Ji.
So the Lord Krishna says, I am the Father, the Supreme Father, and the Perpetuator. And I am the Om. The Om, the first syllable, the purifying word, and I am the knowledge of the three Vedas. Then he goes on to say that I am the destination, and I am the yatra, and I am the journey. I
Okay.
am the master, I am the witness, and I am the well-wisher also. And
Okay.
then finally, I am also the creator, the preservator, and also the destroyer.
Okay.
I am the seed and the destination of every living being.
Okay.
Then he further says, I am the heat energy, and I am
Okay.
holding on to the waters and releasing it from the heaven. I am both death and immortality. Then he further
Okay.
says that those who are having the knowledge of the Vedas and those who are doing yajnas or sacrifices, they have the enjoyment of somras.
Okay. They
Somras.
understand the principle. They are able to understand what is that consciousness. They are experiencing the ananda. That is the soma,
Yeah.
which is said to be an elixir. Yes. Okay.
And then it is said that okay, they aspire to be in heaven. They do all these yajnas, but
Okay.
once the righteousness is all over, they again come to the mortal form, and
So
they come into that cycle of birth and death.
So even those good people, nice people who are doing something, but with a aspiration for getting, I want something in heaven, I want something, I want this punya, all those traps, they are also traps, isn't it, Badrinaranji?
Yeah, yeah,
Krishna
yeah.
is saying, even seeking
Then
punya, as if we should be calculate our punya. Sant Naneshwar had said, Punyachi Ganana Kona Kari. Do so who is going to sit and count all of this? Keep doing what is right. Don't worry, because adding 1 + 1, this will lead to this will lead to that. So even that's a trap. Krishna says, thus somebody who loves the divine, adores the divine, doesn't do anything because he wants something in return. So, Tera tujhko arpan, kya lage mera. Simple as that. All right, please continue, Ji.
this word yogakshemam vahamyam.
Ah, yes.
Lord Krishna
Yogakshemam
says
ahamyam. It's
that
a promise.
those who focus on me with every thought and consciousness totally related to me or involved in me, their consciousness united one with me, for them I am always bringing prosperity.
Yes, and we also saw whether it was practically possible to have the consciousness of the divine at all times. Initially, it was thought no, but as we looked inside, we saw it is I'm sorry, I'll just mute you now. Afterwards, you can unmute, Ji. So it is practically possible. All your moments, at all moments, even your good moments, your bad moments, your enjoyments, you're going to a party, you're going to say, Krishna, go away now. I don't want you to be with me. Or you're going to enjoy with your friends also in your best moments and happiest moments also. Being connected with the divine, that is what we can say. As we see later on in this adhyay, becoming conscious of the divine ensures us that we don't become unconscious. We don't go into the traps. Whichever way, wherever we are, no matter which place, no matter what time, if you are conscious of the divine, you can actually taste what is called the lila of experience of ananda of this creation. That is one important thing, because Krishna says there are many who seek different ways. Some people look at if you look at the ways, those who seek particular devas, they reach the deva loka. Those who are worshipping the Pitars, they reach the Pitar Loka because they do their karma. What you seek is what you get. What about the Tantrics and the others who worship to the elements? They become one part of the elements. But those whose consciousness is pure and clear and they wish to go only, they are focusing onto the divine. Like we saw in the last Adhyay, yogis are able to raise their consciousness, even choose their journey here, and some of them even give up that choice. They say, let the divine push me, whichever place the divine sends me, that is the divine destination for me, wherever it is. These kind of what attitudes helps a person to raise the consciousness at a very high speed. That's what Krishna is saying. He just goes on that he's not very fussy what you offer to the divine. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Whether you give a fruit or a leaf or a flower or a cup of water. Now, cup of water, this at least we can definitely offer. Some unknown stranger comes at our door also and he says, I'm thirsty. Nowadays, it's very hot in India. Somebody asks for water, if doesn't ask also, we should go and give, because that's a normal human tendency. So that is what Krishna is saying. It is also okay for me. Vidhi is not that important, but what is the Shraddha inside of the individual? Because what sincerity and with love, if it is offered with love, then the offering is complete. You don't have a flower which Krishna likes, go give him a cauliflower, he will not mind. Fruit also, I don't have a very good fruit, no problem. It is nothing. Krishna has absolutely, look at the bear that Shabari gave to Sri Rama, Maryada Purushottama. How beautiful that moment must be. Somebody who is always following Shaucha, who is said to be having all these different, upholding all those rules. Even this Prabhu ko niyam badalte dekha is the bhajan of Anup Jalota. What rule is changed? Why is it? Why is it? Because the spirit of things are understood. And that is what Krishna is saying. It is love. If you offer it, your sacrifice also. What is sacrifice? That is also something given in love, isn't it? When you give something which is most valuable, that is called a sacrifice. And you don't give it with a long face or with a sorrow or with tears. Sacrifice is that which is willingly given with all the love. So that whatever sacrifice you're doing, whatever enjoyment you are doing, whichever karma you are doing, Krishna is saying, let them be as per my will. Madarpanam is what Krishna is saying. Tat kurushva madarpanam. What will happen? What is Krishna going to do? Is he having some kind of big junkyard sale going on? So he's going to sell all the things he's got from all his bhaktas? No. Krishna is not wanting anything. But when you are in this bhavana, when you are with this bhava, what is going to happen? You will not get trapped in karma bandhana. You will not be trapped in desire. Best example I can think of is one of the former participants who shared her experience. So I can quote her. Preeti ji, she really liked somebody so badly. She wanted to get married to that person only in her heart. But she went in front of Krishna and she just prayed. She prayed. She said, I like this person. If you wish, this marriage should go ahead. And if you don't, that was a very difficult part for her to say that. Even just to say the prayer, she was hesitating. And then she said, your will be done. If you don't wish, let it be. And she said, I had a lot of fear while saying this. I was really most afraid. What if really the divine does not? That was her personal relation. We don't have to, give any, what we can say, tippany or comment on somebody's personal relation with the divine. It is most private thing. It is the most sacred thing which did not be touched upon by anybody else. Each individual has that inner connection. Narayana, look at Arjuna and Krishna. Because it's in the Gita we are discussing, we are asking. But otherwise, look at this beautiful friendship. He is able to question skeptically also. He is able to fight also. He is able to ask anything he wants. Something like that. She did this prayer. And she said, I was willing to let go of my attachment to this person also. If the divine, because she says, I had faith in the divine, he will do what is right for me. Meaning her love also through the proper channel offered to the divine. Well, what did the divine do? Divine didn't take anything. They are now very happily married. They have a child who is now probably in 8th class or 9th class, wherever they are in India. They're doing quite well. So she says, but she says, still that was a very difficult moment for me, because this is what happens. Bandhana, what we saw, this moha ke dhage, which they say, well, that is only what is trapping a person. When you offer to the divine, Krishna just removes that bandhan so you can experience life in a much joyous manner. If you look at what is Raja Vidya, it is this only. When you are able to love the divine first, in Manache Shloka, Ramdas Swami says, Nako re mana, manavachi nako kirti ture. Don't go after human beings' praises and everything, because what happens? Human beings falter in their consciousness because of the lower nature. Only when the divinity is there, the human being is able to ascend. My friend really fell in madly. I would not say fell in love, because it was just an attraction on somebody. This girl is so beautiful in the first year of college. She was like the moon. She was like the beautiful moon. Within 1 year, or within what we can say 2 semesters, he's able to see all the craters only now in that moon. That beautiful moon is not appearing so much like the moon. What is this? It is something which is a superficial desire, which later on changed. Instead, offer everything to the divine. It's so simple. Krishna is saying everything, all your desires, intellectual, mental, physical, emotional, all of it, because this way you will not get trapped in karma bandhana. Otherwise, we become weak, we become manipulated. Even the most intellectual person, because of their desires, become vulnerable. It's like some person is suddenly having puppet strings attached to him and somebody else is running that person. What is the use? We have seen that karma bandhana, how people get trapped in karma sanskaras, one after the other things keep happening. How do we get free? Well, this is the freedom Krishna is offering. And he says, I am present equally for all. Each person I'm equidistant, he says. But those who are able to see this, those who are able to also love the divine, they have brought about a big inner understanding, and that is a transformation. And Krishna says, even the worst person, even the most evil person can get transformed when heart and soul he turns to the divine. And then the real change starts. Valya becomes Maharishi Valmiki, the great one who is revered like a god only. How is it possible? Well, transformation. And transformation, when it happens like this, it happens at God's speed, which Krishna says, Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat chantim nigachati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktaha pranashyati. So there's another beautiful promise like Yogakshemam Vahamyam. Here he says, Name bhaktaha pranashyati. Means the love that you offer to me will not go waste. Many times we feel in life, I offered so much to this person, I poured it here and then it has gone waste, it went elsewhere. No, offer to the divine. He is a great channel. He will channel it where it is required. In the Rig Veda, there is a goddess. Her name is Dakshina. She's a divine distributor. Her job is to distribute the share to different people, means right from the Hotar to the Deva to the Yajman. Every single person should get the right share. So something like that, the divine distributor will distribute, but offer first, give it to the right channel is what Krishna is saying. And he says, saint also can be some person who just overcomes adverse nature is called a saint. Meaning if I'm cranky all the time and I decide and take a resolve, today enough. I was so cranky that I spoke something to somebody which I should never have spoken. Even by my standard, this is very bad. So I need to change. The day I decide, and then I probably easiest way is to invoke the divine. Sometimes people are trapped in addictions. They don't know how to do it. Even coming out of an addiction is so easy if you are able to have that surrender. I have seen people who have actually come out of big addictions just by surrendering to the divine. After it looked like what was the abyss of their life, darkest moment has suddenly become transformed. One friend of mine, I was so surprised. I actually, first thing I called him after college, I met him online, I contacted him, found out his number, and I called him after 7 years. My question was, how are you still alive? That was my question, because this person had a bad addiction in college. He had ruined his health, but he got transformed completely. Now he is a motivator for youth. He's working with the government, and it was everybody I tell, when I tell this person is doing, all my college mates laugh. But the other people now whom he is guiding, they find inspiration in him. So anybody can get transformed. The simple thing is surrendering to the divine. We do not have to give any excuse that no, now it's too late. Now I cannot get transformed. I don't have the capacity. No, I'm not so great. It will not work for me. No, Krishna is saying, I'm present for everyone. Everyone is present equally. The call has to come from the human side. It is so important that aspiration should rise from the human side. It creates a vacuum for the divine flow to take place. If the surrender is not there, the mind is already blocked. No new wisdom can enter inside. Krishna then talks about whichever position. He says, even if a person is from an ostracized section, many times you see unfairly people are sent out of the organizations or sent out of the society, or people are just neglected. Somebody who is what we can say, if you see, look, a child born in a terrorist house, what wrong did a child do to be born in a terrorist home? Nothing, isn't it? But at some sanskara, some karma bandhana, it is going on. But even in that place, if the child sincerely gives a call, that child can get liberated. Then what about those yogis? What about those rishis? What about those who are doing tapasya? Definitely, Krishna says each and every single person can. There is a beautiful saying which the mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram says, rare is the one who hears the call. Meaning the call is there for everybody. Moments come, they fall on one ear, they go elsewhere, something like that. Rare is the one who hears the call. And there's a second line to it. Rarer is the one who heeds to it. Meaning one is listening, hearing the call. Second is taking action after following that call. Otherwise, no, it's okay. Let me. Krishna comes at our door. We say Atithi Devo Bhava. But when Krishna comes to our door, we say, no, don't come now. Come later. Or we don't open the door only. That is where this Adhyay is about. If you see, the Adhyay is talking about the importance of Shraddha. Shraddha is beautiful and it can come anywhere. And one of the beautiful examples I can think of is now we are having this Ramayana has suddenly become trending due to some movie release. Well, Ramayana, my one brother is there through the Gita sessions only. I contacted him. Like it was just a connection. I got one of the participants, but he's like my elder brother. He is a mechanical engineer in a very prominent college, and he's a professor there. He says, when I teach one type of nano welding, that time, he says, I use Sundarakand of Ramayana to explain about electron transfer. This is Sundarakand only perfectly if you look at how it is taking place. Now, how is it possible that in a completely, what we can say, people say dense material science, material engineering, where can you find divinity? Well, anywhere, any place, any time, no matter when, where, how, divine is present. The call must be made by the human, and only when the call is there, just when Arjuna spoke, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapanam, we got these many adhyayas. Otherwise, imagine if Arjuna felt, no, I am too smart. I'll take my decision. I'll quietly escape from this field. I'll not ask anything to Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita would not have started. But Krishna would have found another Arjuna. Somebody else would be the person. That God is not dependent on us. That we must realize. But we are dependent on the grace. Somebody feels I'm so smart, I'm so wonderful. And suddenly all that smartness disappears. What happens when talent goes away then? Well, talent may not disappear. It can get eclipsed when Ahankar comes in. So it is so important to just remain humble, remain grounded. And Krishna says here, he says last shloka, which is the important pivotal shloka. This is the shloka which will appear again in the 18th Adhyay. 75% of the shloka will have the same words, but a 25% difference will make all the difference in the 18th Adhyay when you see it. Let us see the shloka once more and we'll enter into what is the 10th Adhyay without much delay. Man manabha madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi yuktvaivam atmanam mat parayanaham. Sacrifice unto me, unite with me through your mind. Myself supreme, you shall experience, know and find. Bow to me and with love, when me alone you adore. Then, for the divine union, you shall open the door. Meaning, you will open the door when you understand the importance of sacrifice. When you understand the meaning of Shraddha, you will open the door for the divine Atithi to enter into your life. Until you open the door, God has created this Srishti like that only. Prakriti's game is there at play. Divine cannot function until the sanction comes from the mortal. This is a simple logic, it's a simple truth, but it is also the Guhya Satya of the universe. With this, we are entering into what is the 10th Adhyay. I will just share the screen. Please describe the illustration that you see. One second. Sorry, I am able to. Yes. I'm not able to. Once, please give me a moment. Yes, the new system that I'm using. Yes. Thank you. Can someone describe what you see here? Yes, please. Yes, please. Anybody? Please unmute. Yes, please.
We can see the divine in every part of the nature, in all
Okay.
the living things and living forms.
Yes, ji. So this, what do we see in the illustration, Anuradha ji?
There is a lady.
Okay.
Like the human beings have two forms. It can be
Okay.
feminine as well as masculine. And there is
Okay.
a bird and flowers
Okay.
uh, flying all around.
Okay. Yes. And from the mouth, there is again some kind of pattern coming out, a design, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes,
All
yes.
right. All right. Ji. Anybody
Yeah,
else would like to add? Yes, Adanaji, you want to add something? Please go on.
yeah. Each everything in our body also is all part of the nature. Like
Yes.
well, the atom, all these things are there in the nature.
Ji, absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
ji. Yes. Anybody would like to further add something after
Yeah.
Anuradhaji?
Yeah, if I can just add, it's like nature is being depicted here, and we usually uh, call nature as Mother Nature. So the feminine
Yes.
nature is already there, and that
Yes.
feminism, the feminine nature also can point to a mother's love, which is, I mean, probably one of the most divine aspects of love, selfless love. Uh,
Yes, ji.
and the
Yes, ji.
bird, I don't know. I mean, that's about it.
Yes. All right, ji. All right, Shivaji. So yes, this is one more thing. We have recognized this in Sanatan Dharma. There is something called divine feminine, Shakti. All the forces, whatever are there, they are all part of this divine feminine. If you look at that, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, Shakti Rupena Sansita, Shanti Rupena Sansita, Krishna Rupena Sansita, Lajja Rupena Sansita, it just goes on. One Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha. If you just look at that meaning also, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu. Bhuta in Sanskrit does not mean the ghost. In regional languages, Bhut means ghost. Bhut means people. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu. Among all the people, Shakti Rupena Sanstita. She manifests in the form of strength. Now, strength is Shakti, but Shakti is understood in Sanatan Dharma to have the divine origin, and it is a divine feminine trait. So, wherever it is, all these qualities, if you look at this, the line where Smriti, Medha, Dhruti, Shama, all are feminine qualities. If you look at the Sanskrit language also, it is something, and Krishna is probably going to be telling about it. If you look at this tagline below, Krishna says, the best qualities in nature are feminine. They are glory, eloquence of speech, sharpness of memory, wisdom and forgiveness. How is it connected? Let us begin the Adhyay to see. All right, then I will stop sharing. Hari Om. Let us begin. 10th Adhyay, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Krishna continues. He says, Bhuya eva mahabaho, shrunu me paramam vachaha, yatteham priyamanaya, vakshami hitakamyaya. So this is something Krishna is saying. He says, Sri Krishna spoke, listen to the word supreme that I shall now say, for I will part the divine wisdom to you in this way. This is something like both are playing a role. Krishna is using this dialogue for transferring some kind of high wisdom. He's clearly displaying here. If you look at Yoga Vashishta also, sometimes it becomes very confusing. Who is playing a role? What is going on? What is the purpose? Ram and this dialogue is happening between the great Rishi. Ramleji had, when he was very young, he came across that book. And he said, hey, Rama, you are not there. I am not there. This discussion between you and me is also not there. He immediately closed the book. Then why should I read this book only? And he kept it away. Because what is the meaning of it? Well, later on, he understood the metaphysical aspect, how we are all part, what we can say, players. We are all having a part in this universe. When you become conscious of that, you're able to see a greater action happening behind the scene also. Something like that Krishna is saying here, I'll tell you, I will give you the highest wisdom. I will give you in the form of words only. Through my words, I will share it to you. Why? When Krishna says, they shall, why is he doing this? He says first, they shall certainly lead to your soul's betterment. It will be for your betterment only. I'm telling this for that only. As your heart is receiving my words with merriment, meaning Krishna says, I can see you are getting happy receiving it, so I'll give you more. I'm going to part more. This is a very common theme in Guru-Shishya relationships also. When the Shishya is receptive, Shishya is receiving, sometimes Guru is made to speak more, made to part more. If you look at Kathopanishad, Yama and Nachiketas, Nachiketas is told by Yama that this is such a, Yama is telling, this is my opportunity for me. It is so rare to have somebody, because the young Nachiketas, not only does he receive from Yama, but as he is receiving, he is also repeating it. And he says, this is such a privilege. Means Yama says, I'll give you one more extra wisdom, and he gives a great boon, which is called Nachiketa Agni. That is in the Kathopanishad. But a similar aspect is here, because Krishna is seeing, Arjuna is not skeptical. Arjuna is actually seeking, and he is enjoying what he's probably, for us, we don't know what Arjuna is seeing, but Krishna is able to understand, probably by facial expression or by other factors, whatever it is, he's able to see how Arjuna is actually connecting all the dots of his life. And he says, I'll give you more, because I can see your soul is also from the inside, you're experiencing the Ananda. He goes on further. He says, Na me veduhu suraganaha prabhavam na maharshayaha am adirhi devana maharshinanja dharvashaha. Neither the mighty sages nor the gods know my transcendental origins many aeons ago. For I am myself the cause and origin of every god, sage, and his kin. He says, even the gods don't know, because what is Adi? They also have a source of beginning. But what was there before their beginning? Those who are born, they know only about that time. Like we know from maybe 3 years, 5 years of age, whatever memory is there, we are able to see and know. Well, like that, the Devas were born later. Rigveda also talks about it only. If you see, Ya Oshadi Purva Jata Devebhas Triyugam Pura, means the Oshadis were born much 3 yugas before the gods took birth on the earth. The plants and the medicinal plants came into existence. So something like that Krishna is saying, I'll tell you, because I know I am the Adi, I am the origin, and I am also the origin of all these Deva, all sages, and every kin. He goes on. Yo mama jamanadim chaveti loka maheshwaram asammuda samartyeshu sarva papaihi pramuchate. He who knows that I am beginningless, the overlord of all worlds and peoples, I am birthless, free of delusion. The mortal world he inhabits and falls not prey to evil, sinful gambits. Somebody who becomes conscious of the divine does not fall into the trap of papa. That person is not going to be touched or ruined by sin. Sarva papai pramuchate, all papa is burnt. My question is, how? Anybody, can you tell me? Becoming conscious of the divine, how does it reduce the papa, or how does it, what we can say, obliterate what is the papa or the wrong sanskaras? Anybody? Can someone tell me? How do you think it could be? Thinking of the divine, becoming conscious of the divine. Yes, please, Bharinanji, please feel free to unmute. Yes, sir.
When when we are constantly thinking of the divine, and when we are constantly knowing all his attributes, his love, his eh, he has no birth, he has no death, he is so divine. When you go through all these qualities and when you are constantly remembering him, then at that point of time you are into a divine form, like you do not commit any blunders. You are in a state of awareness, I can
Okay,
say.
you become
You are in a state
conscious. You become conscious, and in that
you
consciousness,
are
errors are not taking place. All right, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Deepali ji, please continue.
consciousness helps you not to do any blunder.
Yes, sir. I got it. Ji. Deepali ji, would you like to add?
Yes. After some time of doing sadhana, our sattva gun increases,
Okay.
and tamo gun and rajas gun slowly
Okay.
decreases. And because
Okay.
of this sattva guna, we are sinless, or
Okay.
our
All right,
punya get
Deepali ji.
increases.
Okay. All right, Deepali ji. So good qualities inside of us improve. Right now, since we have not seen the 3 gunas officially from Krishna, I'll not comment much on that. Our best example is nowadays the viral videos happen, isn't it? A pickpocket is going to pick somebody's pocket and suddenly sees CCTV. Then he does like this to the CCTV, puts the wallet back inside and goes away because he knows somebody is watching. Just like that, sometimes becoming conscious that you, divine is there with you, divine is watching you. will allow you to go only on the right path. You will never drift us away. Sometimes they say, that is why they say importance of japa, importance of namasmaran, or if you say Atriputro Mahatejo Dattatreyo Mahamuni Tasya Smarana Matrena Sarva Papai Pramuchate, means the smaran is sufficient for just obliterating all wrong sins. Meaning, if I am conscious of the divine, somebody comes and irritates me, I can say 99.9% I will not get irritated or not give a swear word back. I will at least not fall into the trap of that person irritating. Sometimes siblings want to tease each other only, isn't it? So if my sister has a very, what we can say, nefarious plan to get me disturbed and she wants to irritate me, if I'm having Nama Japa going on, Nam Smaran going on, she's going to attempt and she's not going to be successful. She'll walk away. But if I'm not conscious, then I'm going to fall in the prey and then she's going to have a good laugh. Something like that. In our life also, becoming conscious, Krishna says, is sufficient. Becoming conscious will liberate you. Let us continue further. Krishna says, Buddhir jnana sammohaha shama satyam damaha shamaha sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhaya mevacha. Knowledge, intelligence, and a clarity bereft of pretenses. Forgiveness, truth, and a control over mind and senses. Joy and sorrow, creation and destruction. The state of being fearless and also fierce sensation. Now we just look at this shloka and the next shloka are connected together. Krishna is talking about gunas or some kind of qualities. He says, what is it? Knowledge. This is one quality. Intelligence. A clarity. Vivek buddhi. What is right, what is wrong. Ability to discriminate. Sometimes it's very important to and take such decisions in a nick of the time also. If you are having the Vivek Buddhi Jagrut, you will not take a wrong decision. Forgiveness. When somebody is wrong, forgiving that person. We are wrong. Sometimes it's important to forgive ourselves and move ahead. It is so important. Forgiveness is also one great quality. Truth is another brilliant quality. Control over mind. Damaha. Great control over mind. And Indriyas. That is also important. How important it is to control our Indriyas. Otherwise, we'll just get dragged away in the loop of things. That is also one more. Joy and sorrow, creation and destruction, looking at both with oneness. What's creation, what is destruction, what is joy, what is sorrow. It's all a part of this Srishti, part of the universe. The state of being fearless. Yes, fearlessness is important. But fierce sensation also is important. Not becoming anxious all the time, but at least, like I say, I go to factory because I'm taking Bhagavad Gita. I don't need to wear helmet. I have kavach of Gita shlokas around my head. Is that fear? What we can say, fearlessness, or would you say foolishness? It is foolishness only because it is not. My body is made of bones and it is going to blood and bone. That's all. Skin is like that. What is there? What guarantee of anything is there? I have to be conscious. I cannot say because I've done this, this will not work. So this knowing what to fear also sometimes. You have to be cautious. That is all. Not in a state of panic because you don't have to be God-fearing. You have to be God-loving. We've already learned that. We have to be fearless when you're holding on to the truth. It's all right. Even if a storm is coming, you stand by the ground, you will be able to sometimes turn away that storm also. If you're, this is of course metaphorical, like now in Gujarat, there's a storm coming. I hope nobody literally says I have to go because Gita tells me I have to face the storm. It means a storm in our lives also. There are different, not just the physical ones. But when you are grounded, you're able to face and you're not overwhelmed by situations, something like that. Krishna goes on. He says, Ahimsa samata tishtihi tapodanam yasho yashaha bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva pruthak vidhaha. Also equanimity, contentment and charity, non-violence. Ahimsa also is important. For Arjuna, ahimsa is important. How can it be possible? Well, for a soldier also it is most important because a soldier has a weapon in his hand, even about patrolling in the border. The soldier, if the soldier is trigger friendly, his hand is like that, what's going to happen? Innocent person also will go, isn't it? So restraint is required. The person who has the weapon must also know what is indiscriminate use and what is the right use. So the meaning of ahimsa, avoid as much as possible. That is what they are taught. All these ones are all the soldiers who are standing, and they have a, what we can say, a great rigorous training being done for them, because they want to remain in that state. They are doing it for what? Again, for peace only, isn't it? Unfortunately, we can't read poems in the border and get peace just like that. Otherwise, it would be so wonderful. I go and I read out poetry, somebody else reads poetry. No, we have to have soldiers with their guns. But why are they doing it? Again, for peace only. The ahimsa, it is important. It is very important. We need to go. Mankind has to reach to that state where these all will not be required. But until then, they are going to remain. And this ahimsa is important. Krishna says, fame, infamy, austerity, they're all but manifestations arising from me alone, all objective qualities of my own, meaning fame and infamy also. You become famous also, say, thank you, Krishna. Today you're trying to lift me too much into the sky. It's okay. I'm going to take it with a pinch of salt and pepper. That way, what will happen? Tomorrow, when those people who are saying you are the most brilliant, they'll say you are the most useless and worst person also. You can say, Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. You don't have to worry. What is good, what is bad. If you're sincere and you're clear in your consciousness, both, nobody's praise should disturb you or praise you. Nobody's criticism also. I had a very interesting experience where I got both on one day. One side, it was I got very much elevation and love from so many people. I was very uncomfortable with that. And another same day only, one more person treated me with absolute disrespect when I had gone to Bangalore. It was a very interesting day when I was reporting to my teacher at the end of the day, because one big editor, he actually kicked me out of his office. He was saying you should see Krishna in me, and all interesting dialogues were taking place. When I refused to comply to what he was saying, he actually asked me to get out. And I was most disappointed being asked to get out, because I had gone a very long way. But fine, I just took it in a stride because it was something crazy. I said, Krishna, it is yours. I found a Tulsi Vriksha very near his place. I didn't want to sit outside of his place, because otherwise I felt he will send somebody after me. I went and sat near the Tulsi Vrindavan there, felt quiet, peaceful, went back to work. And the very next day, I was being treated with such respect I had never got in my life. It was making me more uncomfortable. I thought it's better give me some curses, I'll feel more comfortable. And my teacher asked me, what do you make of it? Because within 24 hours, you have been elevated so much also. People have put a har also. People have put something on your head also. And another person has asked you to get out also. And he's told you are full of ankar, and he's sent you out. So what do you understand from it? I said, both are not true. This is also Krishna's, this is also Krishna's. I have to continue with my karma. I came as a representative of the trust. I'll do my work and go away. I'll not get attached by this or that also. So something like that, we need to understand all of this. Fame also, infamy also, all of these are all qualities of the divine. Just remain in that, what we say, samata or that bhava, because as Krishna has told, samatvam yoga uchyate. If you can remain in the balance, you can say that is a clear lakshana that you are on the right path. It is yourself. Krishna is only certifying that if you are able to keep balance in all the extremes of situations also. And Krishna is saying, because these qualities are all part of something, a great permutation and combination of forces takes place behind the scenes. Why all things happen? We don't know. We're not supposed to know also, isn't it? What will happen then? If I came to know everything, it will be more troublesome. My friend got some past life experience that his mother cut his hand. Now what's going to happen in this birth now? If he suddenly becomes conscious, in his last birth, his mother was having a sword and he was crying, weeping, and his hand got cut. And when he came out of that also, he was still having tears in his eyes. So I said, now what? Are you planning revenge? Then he started laughing. No, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to forget it. And he actually forgot. It was so many years ago. He doesn't even talk about it. Well, this is important. All things cannot be connected with our mental logic. They are beyond. Krishna says, recognize the divinity. Goes on further. He says, Maharshayaha sapta purve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jata yesham loka imaha praja. The heavenly Saptarishis, the 7 sages, as well as the 4 Manus of the ancient ages, they are all but creations of my impulses, mental, and from them arose all living beings in the physical. Means he's saying all the creations have come because of my direct intervention of my consciousness. Tomorrow scientists will be able to describe this phenomenon of creation maybe. But in our Vedanta, Eko Ham Bahusyami, I am one, let me become many, and suddenly planets started rearing, everything, that energy explosion took place. Some say it was the Nada Brahma, it was Shiva's Tandav, sudden creation, dance of Shakti, they say. She was trying to awaken Shiva. That is why one storm started and then the universe came into existence. Taittiriya Upanishad describes the formation of elements in a same sequence which modern science talks about. Well, whatever it is, Krishna says, it has all originated from me. He continues further, he says, Etam vibhutim yogam cha mamayo vetti tattvataha so vikampena yogena yujjate natra sanshaya. He who understands my principles divine and knows this all-pervading truth that is mine, united in yoga with me, he becomes one. About this, there are doubts none. Meaning, recognize this, you will become one in consciousness. What happens when you become one in consciousness? That is something you have to experience only. The person who experiences can only understand. Ya pashyati sa pashyati. Krishna goes on, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarva pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the birth of all living things that can exist to be, and their growth only proceeds from me, for I set their development into motion. Knowing this, the wise love me with the highest emotion. That is why the wise understand. Many times they offer a namaskar to the divine only when something happens. Some youngsters feel, what is this superstition? What is the logic? This happened because of this. Why is he going there and doing a pranam? And why does he have to do it there only? Well, that is his area. That is where he is consciously consecrated. That is where he feels comfortable or she feels comfortable in connecting with the divine. But the wise understand that the divine, it's like there's a beautiful song, isn't it? Tareef karu kya uski ya jisne tujhko banaya. Means should I praise you or should I praise the creator who has created this beauty? The wise understand that and the prayers go directly to that only. They say beautiful things, they appreciate the beauty, but they connect it immediately with the divine. Krishna goes on, he says, Madchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam katayantascha mam nityam dushyanti cha ramanti cha. With their consciousness flooded with that of mine, with their lives surrendered completely to the divine, with me only in their dialogues, they go around. Contentment and joy only in their lives can be found. So the yogi is always in the state of ananda. In the later on Gita, we'll see santushtaha satatam yogi, always in the santosha. Whatever is happening, that state of happiness is there. Well, Krishna says, with their consciousness flooded with that of mine, with their life surrendered completely to the divine. Meaning the life is only surrendered to the divine. Whatever has to happen, the person is doing karma. He's not become a stone or not doing karma. But what is going to happen in my life is the biggest question which troubles so many people. And the problem is nobody knows what is going to happen also the next day. Nobody knows what's going to happen next moment. Who is there who is knowing consciously? One very big astrologer used to predict about every, he still does, of course. I'm not taking anybody's name. In Maharashtra, is very famous. So young couples would go for matching their patrikas before marriage. And he knows what's going to happen. It became so famous. So he had a very big following. A lot of people would go. He had good fees also, which he was earning from it. Well, whatever he did. But his own daughter, he could not match properly. Their marriage well apart. Now what happened? Now do we jump onto the Shastra and say Shastra is unscientific? No, Shastra is there, but Shastra is not to be utilized only for certain things. And the higher aspect should be understood. Well, somebody who has surrendered doesn't care about anything, is just surrendered to the divine. Absolute surrender has taken place. But what happens because of it? It's a big trouble, what we can say. This damage happens, collateral damage takes place for the other person when somebody has surrendered to the divine. Somebody is like, if the person is like Hiranyakashipu, biggest problem. The person cannot tolerate. What is this? This person is doing this, talking about only Narayana. How life is becoming miserable because of this. Something like that. But what can that person do also? Because he surrendered to the divine. Everywhere he sees that divinity, he is able to, and his dialogue will naturally bring that. It will come out unconsciously. What can he say? So sorry, that's all. But that will keep coming out. Some of my friends will get very irritated. Why do you have to connect God with everything? Now, am I connecting God with everything, or is he already connected, which is visible? But then this is what Krishna says. Somebody who is having that consciousness, he'll say, wherever they go in their dialogues, you will find that only. Well, so everybody has to realize sometime or the other. Our job is not to make someone realize, but somebody who is conscious of the divine, who is able to, just like how Kabir's doha is there. Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koe. जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे होए. When you are thinking of the divine in your good times also, when will you get bad times? You will not have it only. My astrologically worst year, my teacher told me this is a good year for you. For me, full Shraddha, absolute foolishness in terms of astrology, no idea of what's happening. Teacher has told it's a brilliant year, so that year went very well. And at the end of the year, when that period was over, he said this was the worst year. He could have come onto the streets. I was like, but you told me, why did you tell me it was a good year? He said you would have got troubled because of it. And luckily, because I had Shraddha in my teacher, I was happily enjoying. And then when I went back and I saw, oh, right there, that accident could have happened. This thing, that time, this happened. This application was completely going to get rejected. So many such bad things were going to happen. And luckily, I didn't realize it. Why it was, I think here Guru Sharan is there. Something like that. Somebody who is in the Sharan. For me, it is, I would say it is so simple. It is very easy to offer and surrender and then watch how things happen. Well, this is what Krishna is saying, that a person is always going to be in that state of Ananda. Krishna goes on, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. This is also beautiful part. After surrender, Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I will grant that buddhi which is not there also. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to be super smart. You don't have to have some abilities or talents also. But you have to have the surrender. And when surrender is there, in a land which is not fertile also, brilliant transformations can take place. Things that don't exist will start manifesting. That is important. Krishna says, to those yearning for a constant state of union, with the purest intensity, seeking my communion, to them I give yoga's understanding that sets them apart and unites them with me, and they never again part. That oneness comes. Bahina Bai Chaudhary, illiterate, widow, on a very low income. Her job was just to somehow work hard and get some food on the table for her children. But she got what brilliant knowledge just by working, because she offered to the divine. It's a Mazi Maya Soroswati Maza Shikavite Boli. My mother Saraswati, she gives me the speech. She tells me, she teaches me how to speak. In my ears, the winds which are moving through the trees as I work, they are whispering me the coming and going of Panduranga. And later on, now people are doing PhD after she is no more. Several years later, students are doing PhD on her language. Nobody is saying her language is not so Shuddha. She is saying Soroswati, or look at it, it's not Shuddha language. It is a very dialect only of, it is not from the mainstream mother tongue also. No, the knowledge she has got. And Krishna says, Giri, who was considered to be not so smart, becomes the Mathadipati, Totakacharya. He composes Totakashtakam, which is supposed to be most difficult meter in Sanskrit. Where? Well, this is where we understand that the divine works. Talent has a role. We do not disrespect talent. Talent is important, but talent has a small role in the large scheme of things. Best pianists in the world, top number 1, number 2, number 3. It is not about talent. It is the number of hours they have put in. That is the only difference that separates 1, 2, 3. Because all have reached one very high state. They have done several years of sadhana, but what is separating is their actions. Well, like that. But here on the Adhyatmic Marga, Krishna says, I will give you that wisdom that will set you apart it will become that source of energy or light inside of you. Teja will come into a dull person also, and that person will suddenly start speaking some things which even that person may not understand. Krishna goes on, he says, Tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavastu jnanadipena bhasvata. The symbolism is beautiful here. Krishna says, what happens? He says, for such ones, because the Shraddha is there, the sincerity is there. Giri's story is like that, and he would go to his seniors and ask, when will I get wisdom? Will I get some wisdom? Will it come to me? And then to make him quite, it will come, is what they say. And then in the great satsanga where he was supposed to come, he was washing clothes of his teacher. And then they said, what is the use? One person dared to tell the Shankaracharya also that, see, what is the use of his coming or not coming? He's anyway, it is going to go over his head. Why are you waiting for him? Then he says, no, and that time he comes running, and in the transformation, he starts composing on the spot Totakashtakam. And then that is the transformation. From that day onwards, he ceases to remain Giri, and then he becomes transformed later on to become the Acharya, who is revered for his knowledge and wisdom also. So this is what Krishna is saying. It begins. And from where does it come? That is told here. For them, my compassion begins to stem from within the self that resides in them. Meaning, inside of you only is that hero. Inside of you is only that Atma. Paramatmaham paripurnoham paratparoham kevaloham satyam jnanadhanam praptam paramapadam. Simple. Realize, connect. When you realize yourself, you will get the highest knowledge, highest wisdom. There is no greater wealth than that. And this is what Krishna is saying. He says, it's like a compassion is coming from the inside only. They see the efforts of the soul. They see the struggle of the soul. And the Atman decides, let me now start sending some of this wisdom into that soul. The karma has been done. Now the time is there for the next step to take place. Krishna goes on. He says, the lamp of knowledge within them I ignite, and the ignorance of darkness disappears by my light. It is my light which is brilliant like the sun, which will then dispel the darkness. I light that lamp inside of the individual. Now, lighting of the lamp is a common phenomenon in all homes. I think in every Hindu household it is done. What is the symbolism behind it? Anybody? Lighting of a lamp. Why do we light a lamp in our homes in the evenings? We have lights nowadays. But still, what is the use of a lamp? Why a lamp? Anybody? Can you just tell me something? What could be the reason? Is there some symbolism behind it, or it is just a ritual? Yes, please. Anybody? Badrinathji, you were saying something? Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Ji. Yes, Ji.
Yeah, lamp means dispelling darkness.
Okay, dispelling
Hello?
darkness. Yes, sir, I can hear you. So lamp is a
Dispelling
symbol
darkness.
of dispelling
Dispelling
darkness.
darkness means the Ajnani in us
Okay.
goes off.
Ajnan goes off.
From darkness to light.
All right, from darkness
Hello?
to light. So yes, sir. Got it, sir. Thank
Hello?
you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes, Ji. Yes, Ji. All right. Asatoma Sadgamaya. All right. Yes, something like that. I think it was written by comment had appeared. Yeah. Khushbuji has said, lighting your soul and connecting with the divine. Yes, we consciously connect with the divine through that action. It makes that atmosphere also pavitra. No matter even if the light is on, lighting the lamp has its own significance. And when you do that, it is a symbol of awakening. Vinitaji wants to share something. Is it Vinitaji?
Yeah. It is like
Yes.
when the day is there, the sun god is there. So, it is associated with the
Light.
broad daylight, right?
Yes,
And when the sun sets for us, it rises somewhere else in the other part of the world. But for us, it is darkness. So to remove the
Yes.
darkness, and to
Yes.
offer our day to the god, ki, okay, fine,
Yes.
this is the
That is a
completion of
symbol.
the day. So Sandhya pe aap
Absolutely.
deepak jalate hain.
Absolutely, Vinitaji.
So that
And I'm sorry, last part I missed. Please unmute Ji. I'm sorry. So that you said?
so that the divine leads us through the night to the dark forces, like they say in the night the dark forces are more powerful. So the deepam, and when you light the deepam, it removes the negativity and provides positivity to the home.
And it feels also very beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, Ji. So this is the big symbolism behind such acts. It is, and if you say Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Again, it is that light of knowledge which is a symbolism, where it is said Ma Lakshmi also comes to the place where it is well lit and light is present. There Ma Saraswati's presence is also understood. That way, if you see, there's along with it, the people light the incense also. That fragrance spreads, it brings a calmness. People have so many such aspects. Well, this shloka, Krishna is telling, I am going to come and light that lamp. We light the lamp for the divine. But here in this shloka, he says, I will light the lamp inside of that individual who is so sincere, who has offered everything. And that light will glow and everybody will recognize this light as the divine light. That is what he is saying. And he says, from inside only, the divine inside of the individual. It's like the Ashirvada is coming from the Devat who is sitting inside of us only. He is just blessing by our efforts as we progress. And then he says, yes, now is the time for the next ascendance. Arjuna replies. Arjuna says, let us see Arjuna. We'll look at some of the shlokas of Arjuna and then we'll stop this adhyay. I'll read the next few shlokas. Please observe Arjuna carefully. We have seen Arjuna tell Krishna so many things. He says, I have not understood what you have said. He says, I don't understand even little bit. He says, Krishna, don't tell both sides. Krishna, tell me with clarity. Krishna, how can I believe you when you say you told the Manu all of this, or you told this to the Surya? I don't understand. That's Arjuna we have heard before. Look at the Arjuna now. After 8th Adhyay, which is the Adhyay on death, a big change has taken place in Arjuna. Is it visible? Is it palpable? Someone please do give me a feedback after you look at the next shlokas. Because Arjuna is speaking now. Arjuna uvacha. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum. Thou art the Immaculate Brahman Supreme. Thou art the permanent one of the highest esteem. Thou art the Purusha, the divine Purusha, the supernal God. Unborn, thou art the all-pervading Lord. He is telling to Krishna, you are that supreme Brahman, you are the Purusha, you are the Adideva, you are the one who is not born also. You are there from the beginning. He goes on further. Ahustvam Rishayah Sarve Devarshi Naradastatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. This is the wisest of this. The wisest of the sages have thus said, when thy words they have sought to spread. Narada, Asita, Devala and Vyasa, the seers have portrayed. O Lord, thou hast to me explained. You have explained. I have heard these great rishis talk about you. I don't know these rishis suddenly came and whispered something in his ear now. No, he's heard long back. But now he's telling all these Narada, Devala, Vyasa, Asita, see, they have talked about you. And he's telling this to Krishna only right now. And you have told me the truth. Sarveta dhrutam manye yanmam vadasi keshava naite bhagavan vyaktim vidurdeva nadhanavaha. Whatever it is that is spoken by thee, for my mind, that is only the truth that can be. He says now, he's not even asking for pramana. He says, well, your shabda is certificate for me. Whatever you speak, whatever that is spoken by thee, for my mind, that is only the truth that can be. But, O Lord gracious, neither God nor Titan about thy manifestations can they enlighten. So just stop here. Krishna is being told, whatever you speak is now Brahma Vakya for me. You have told me all of this. Even Devas don't know anything about you. Asuras also, what Asuras will know? Nobody knows anything about you. You are that brilliant, you are that great. My question is, what do you think? Is there a big transformation in Arjuna? Or are we having doubts? Is it Arjuna only or somebody else's character has suddenly changed, lost bearing, or what is he doing? Anybody? Yes, sir. Kulkarni ji. Yes, sir.
Now Arjuna is fully Shraddhavan.
Huh? Fully Shraddhavan. Okay, Kulkarni ji. Kulkarni ji, one question. You have grandson or granddaughter, something like that? You've had interaction with grandchildren? Yes. My question is, when your grandchildren are on their best behavior, very nice, what do you understand from that? When your grandchildren talk in a very, very, very sweet way, means usually grandchildren are sweet. But what do you understand by that? I think Akhilesh ji has raised his hand. Okay. Okay, Akhilesh ji will. Yes, Akhilesh ji. Yes.
I think he still has a couple questions, but now he's just trying to
Okay. Yes.
get Krishna in more of a mood to answer them.
Okay, so I think Akhilesh ji is a grandson, so he's probably very nicely understanding this tactic. What happens is sometimes when children are extra nice, extra sweet, parents immediately understand this person wants something. Absolutely. Kulkarni ji completed a statement before I said it. Yes. So Arjuna, though his Shraddha is there, his Bhakti is there, looks like Arjuna wants something because he is telling Krishna all of this, and it's so fast. Whenever sudden changes take place, you have the right to have a doubt. Look at it with a little pinch of salt and a little pinch of pepper. Let us see. What is it Krishna is being told? What is Arjuna asking? He says, Swayam evatmanatmanam vetha tvam purushottama. Yes, we didn't see the shloka. Swayam evatmanatmanam vetham tvam purushottama Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagat Pate. Such beautiful compositions by Arjuna. Even Vyakarana and the beautiful rhythm. It is wonderful. Krishna is being told, O greatest Supreme One, it is only thee who knows thyself completely. Who knows Krishna? Only Krishna knows Krishna is what he is saying. Means how is Krishna? When Bhakta was asked, Krishna is like Krishna only. I cannot give you another example. How is Krishna? Something like that he is telling. It is only thee, O One, O great Supreme One, who knows thyself completely. For all creations and beings, thou art the Lord, overlord of the world, even for the gods, thou art the God. What devas we are thinking of? Deva Deva Jagatpate, you are the God for the devas also, is what he is saying. Now, next shloka, cat is out of the bag. Why is Arjuna asking so sincerely, so sweetly? What is it that he wants? That comes out here. He says, Bhaktum arhasi yasheshena divya hyatma vibhutayaha yabhe vibhutibhi lokan imanstvam vyapya tishtasi. I solicit ye to completely tell. Here comes the request. He says, please, that is why he said, whatever you say is Praman. I will not ask anything more. I don't need anything more. I just want you to tell me. You speak and I will not ask any other evidence. Just tell me. For me, I don't need anything, not seeing, not requesting anything else. Just I want to hear is what he says. He says, I solicit ye to completely tell of all thy manifestations that in this world dwell, the richest, thy richest of forms that the mortal realm has received, without exception do reveal all that can be perceived. If you have a moment like this, where the divine is in front of you, remember Arjuna. He milks the moment perfectly. He is taking all of it and he's saying, Krishna, tell me, Krishna, I'm just asking you to speak only. It's not asking anything big out of you. For you, it is possible. Just tell me about your vibhutis. Where can I see the divine in this Srishti? Where can I realize your presence, all your manifestations? Tell me all is what he says. He goes on further. He says, Kadam vidya maham yogams Tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhuteshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. How is it that I can unite with thee? By always meditating in all places upon you. How can I become one? Now he is interested in yoga. Now he is interested in the dhyana, which was told long back. He says, how can I unite with you? Should I meditate upon those forms? Okay. If I have to meditate, which form should I meditate upon? He is asking. What are the embodiments that I should aspire to see? Which form should be contemplated by me? Means you only tell me what what meditation should be done by me, what type of meditation, on whom should I meditate, on what is the form which is present in the world. This is also beautiful that Arjuna is a very practical and pragmatic person. He's a sadhak, he's a seeker, he's done a lot of sadhana, tapasya, everything aside. He says, I want to experience. Everywhere you see, yat shreyaha, I want to know what is right, what is practical for me. Well, like that he's asking here. And this is also in the Isha Upanishad, because first realization of the divine in the world is the first criteria, first ground for realizing the next. Yatte kalyan tamam tatte pashyami is the first thing. In the brilliance of the forms, let me see the truth of the divine. And then only comes Soham Asmi is the second realization. So Arjuna is first asking this. He says, tell me what should I meditate upon. And we'll stop here at the 18th shloka. Krishna says, Vistarenat mano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuyaha kataya truptihi shrunvate nasti memrutam. O Father of all peoples, lucidly please explain of your yoga and thy forms that in this world reign. Eager I am to hear of your manifestations. The more, the better. To my insatiable thirst, this is immortal nectar. It's like, he says, for my darshan do ghanashamanat mori akya pyasi re, like that. He says, my ears only for the shravan. I want the shruti of what are those forms. It is like nectar. The thirst has come inside of me to know. And when this thirst comes, then only the realization also comes. So that thirst has now come. And he says, Krishna, tell me clearly and tell me more. The more you tell, the better for me. So with this, we stop here. My just one question is, I think I'll ask to Kulkarni ji only. So Kulkarni ji, when your grandchildren behave in the best manner, you understand they are behaving for getting something. What do you do then? You want chocolate. For chocolate, they come and they say, you are very nice, you are very sweet. What do you do then? You know you are doing this for getting something. So Kulkarni, what would you do? Please unmute, sir. Would you
I have
accept?
to give no alternative.
No alternative. No
I
alternative. That's a perfect answer, actually. No alternative. I think a grandfather only can understand that situation best. So like that here, Krishna also probably will have no alternative when somebody is behaving in such a beautiful way. Chalo, acting it to sahi. At least he is doing it definitely. It is good. I want to encourage this good quality inside of him. This is much better than the crying Arjuna on the first Adhyay. So he is going to comply. We will see what is called the Vibhuti Darshana. Vibhuti Darshana will start with the next week. We will see that. And right now, remember Arjuna's words. He has told Krishna, I don't need anything else. I just want to hear. So is he going to hear what he wants? And will he be satisfied after that? We will see later. But Vibhuti Darshana is very interesting because it is connected with the world, in the world where you can see the divine. For Arjuna, it was more interesting than it is for us, because we have not seen Narada, we have not seen Vyasa. These are all, ancient characters for us. But for Arjuna, these are all people on everyday life he has met and he's seen. So it becomes more practical. So when we look at the Vibhutis, so many Vibhutis are going to be described. I think it's 72 if I'm not mistaken. I've never counted, somebody had told me. But what is this? What are these Vibhutis? We will focus on those which we can relate in our everyday life. So it will be more useful for us. Whatever names that are mentioned, we will look at them, but not in detail. Anybody wants, in the back of this reference book, names are written, or we have Google Baba also, so we can always search. So with this, we conclude with a Shanti Mantra. Any queries, after which we can look at? Let us conclude now. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kasyat dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tatsat. Krishna Mande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. So Monday we will continue. Yes, please. Any queries? Most welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji.
Hari
Namaste.
Om.
Hari Om ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaste ji.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om
Hari
ji.
Om.
Hari Om ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om
Hari
ji.
Om.
Hari Om ji. Is there any query? If anybody wants to look at something, do you have a question? If not, we'll conclude the session. No, is it? All right.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hello.
Yes, Vinita ji, you have to ask. Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. In the Hindu religion, we say कि जो आदि शक्ति है वो माँ है. मतलब from आदि शक्ति only everything, the entire universe has come, everything has come. And मतलब हम राम भक्त भी हैं, हम कृष्ण भक्त भी हैं, हम देवी को भी मानते हैं. So there are so many God forms. So my question is, हम शिव जी की तरफ भी भागते हैं, हम कृष्ण भगवान की तरफ भी भागते हैं, हम देवी की तरफ भी भागते हैं.
Okay, so the question is, what is?
The question is कि what is it? मतलब बोलते हैं कोई भी पूजा शुरू करो तो पहले गणेश जी की पूजा करो. गणेश जी की पूजा नहीं करोगे तो उसके आगे का पूजा नहीं आपका सफल होगा. तो गणेश जी का आवाहन करना है, पहले पूरा गणेश जी का पूजा करना है, फिर देन कम्स विष्णु. विष्णु का पूजा करे बगैर आप दूसरा भगवान का पूजा नहीं करना है. उसके बाद विष्णु के बाद
वो नहीं किया तो क्या होता है? वो नहीं किया
that
तो
is what is they say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, there is a freedom we have, in a big freedom, and if you don't do a puja properly, very cleverly, people sometimes they are lazy also, they use this mantra. Avahanam na janami visarjanam pujam chaiva na janami shamyatam parameshwari mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam sureshwari yat pujitam maya devo paripurnam tadastu me. मैंने प्रॉपरली किया नहीं है, मेरे पास भक्ति नहीं है, मंत्र नहीं है, कुछ श्रद्धा, कुछ सब कुछ कम है, बट जो भी हो आप मान लो और कंप्लीट मान लो. So that freedom is there. You're not going to be cursed. We have the right to choose our Aradhya. Many times, like you say, Deva, that many marga are also there, no, in Bharat. So many spiritual paths. In Marathi, there is a prayer where the bhakta gets confused and he says to the Vithala, Vithala, konsa jhenda gheu hati? Which flag should I take? There are so many flags. So what you prefer, Krishna is not ordering anything here. If you look at Gita, Gita is something which you can probably study and you can see which is the Aradhya that is connecting, because it is very important to understand that connecting with an Aradhya. When you get Guru Diksha also, the Guru gives a Guru mantra of one Aradhya only. He doesn't give the 10 mantras. So that Aradhya, and that Aradhya is selected by the Guru according to the nature of the Shishya, the connection of the Shishya. So like that, you connect with yours. But because I have connected to this, तो मैं इनको नहीं मानता हूँ, ये क्या खुद भगवान को मेरे भगवान से ज्यादा बड़ा है क्या? These questions and all will, in Vibhuti we will see, no? We will see about Rama, we will see about Shankara, all of them we will see. So at the end of this Adhyay, what is this difference between these? Is there a difference? Because if Rigveda you see, Agni is there, Vayu is there, Varuna is there, Mitra is there, Bhaga is there, Ila is there, Saraswati is there. Then there is a prayer of all devas together called Vishwa Devas also. Means all devas combined. There are, or sometimes there are combination of Indra and Maruda, Indra and Mitra. And there is a scientific reason behind why each combination is also done. Scientific means not modern science, I'm talking about Adhyatmic. What is the symbolism behind it? Why this is manifested with this, or why this is invoked with this? What is the significance? All of it is there. For those who wish to understand, you can try it. But there is no, means nobody is sitting with a stick or something like that behind us that you should do this, or if you don't do this, you will go to hell. At least so far, we have not seen Krishna saying. Now, Vibhuti means, how many Vibhutis are there? So many Vibhutis are there. We will see their names. And now Arjuna is he going to have, because sometimes, which Vibhuti should I call first if this is the question? When Sankat comes to us and we have so many Vibhutis, we'll be wondering, this Vibhuti is first or this is second, or did I call in right order or should I call in this order? No, it's not like that. Actually, it is... we will see interchangeability. In Rigveda also there is interchangeability of devas. What is Agni can also become Vayu. How is Varuna becoming something else? Vishnu is absolutely different in the Rigveda compared to the Vishnu that we know. Vishnu is invoked, but he is different. Brahmanaspati is different and Ganesha of Purana is different. Some people say they are the same only. Some have, there is symbolism behind all of these devas. And the, like they say, Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. One truth is told by the wise in different ways. So these are different marga. We have to become conscious. We'll see actually. This Adhyay is just going to introduce us. Because like I went to one temple and I by mistake asked for Bilva Patra. in a Vishnu temple. I don't think Vishnu got insulted. But the person who was selling the flowers, Tulsi there, got insulted. Ki, how dare you come? This is the biggest papa I have done by going and asking her. Her reaction, the lady next to her, it was like almost like the TV serial reaction. Nahi, and that kind of, this person has come here and asked for Bilva Patra. I did not want it for offering to Shiva also. I wanted it for a medicinal purpose. So I went in search of it.
No, but I mean, there are things like, I mean, Bhagwan Vishnu or Krishna, jo hai, they are all offered Tulsi, but actually Lakshmi is offered Bilva Patra also.
Shiva also is there, but I'm saying is
No, but Lakshmi,
because we saw,
Vishnu ki
didn't we
patni
see?
hai, she is offered Bilva.
No, did we not see Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam? Krishna has told is with Shraddha. It is complete. It is perfect. So will he get inside? I don't think he will get insulted if I give him cauliflower, really speaking. If I have to give flower. Or I say I will give him cactus. Why will cactus poke him? It
No,
will
I
not
think
poke him.
even when this Satyanarayan Puja also, like they'll say, na, they'll say people leave, they'll say bud ka patta, they will say bel ka
There
patta,
is a symbolism behind all of this. No, there is a symbolism. You do it consciously. You feel like doing. You do it. So far, Krishna has not ordered Arjuna anything. No, so far we have seen 10 adhyayas. He is telling ye acha hai, but he is not saying ye anivarya hai. He says swayam chintan kijiye. Swayam apna. You decide what you want. I am not going to order your karma. You walk. I will be there to guide. I am going to wish you well. I might come and tell you the hints also, but steps you have to take. So that freedom is there in Sanatana Dharma. Many times it is actually something which is very special. It is not there anywhere else. And we also understand one and we understand others also. It is not like somebody else's religion is looked down upon just because it's like Meri maa achhi hai to kya dusre ki maa buri hai. It is not like that. That person's mother is for that person's mother. So whichever are there, same way, even those who are doing pujas for the sometimes in the tribal areas, they have a different way of worship. Some people do different. Some people even do bali. Now, Pashu Bali, is it correct or not? That question is not at all to be looked at in the Marga. Whether it is their Shraddha, it is their doing. When they start coming and start exterminating all animals, then it becomes a Dharma Sankat and then the Dharma role comes into play. But what is happening, each person's Shraddha is according to their way. We have to see which way we are connecting with. Aim is to raise in consciousness. Is it raising our consciousness? Or if I am getting trapped in fear, or if I'm getting trapped in the ritual and not connecting with the God, I'm not getting the Ananda, then you need to experience and see ki chalo, something has to be done in the Vidhi, something has to be altered in the Vidhi for me to experience it. Yes.
No, but I feel Vidhi or any procedures are also laid down. If there are no procedures laid down, then it will just become like, people
Absolutely.
will do anything and, just do some shortcut and just carry on. So the procedures which are described in the Vedas are also for some reason. Like when you're doing Havan, you do the cleaning of the place, you do the sweeping of the place. Now it has become a ritual. They say, okay, you're digging, whereas you're not digging, but they make you say by the mantra, ki, okay, I'm digging that place, I'm clearing that place. And I'm putting cow dung in that place. So that all that is done because so that some format is followed or some protocol is followed. If you don't do that, then people will say, okay, fine, iski bhi jarurat nahi, uski bhi jarurat nahi, and then
it becomes anarchy, no? Yes, something like that.
Hmm.
So we have to become conscious. So the question about how many gods or these many gods, which should I choose? It is your choice. And if you say Nastik, I don't believe all these gods also, Krishna is not going to get insulted or hurt. He is not going to feel that. That Nastik nature will only affect the person who is having it only. The divine is not going to get insulted. God is not existing. So when I see people, I will have foolish people. They are moving towards a God which is non-existent. And I will go on. But that will have a sanskar on me. But God will not get insulted because you didn't believe me that day. Like there was one friend of mine, he wanted to go to a college in Australia. And he wanted a letter of recommendation. He went to the teacher. And our professor, HOD of our college, mechanical engineering department, he told me, I'll not give letter of recommendation. You didn't wish me happy Teacher's Day. So my friend was hitting his head. He said, what? I didn't wish him for that. He's not going to I said, look, we'll have to see, go find another teacher who will give you letter of recommendation. He got a letter of recommendation, went to Australia. His grades in India were so low. There he went into Hall of Fame. And the professor, his guide is saying, how is it possible somebody with so low grades is getting such high grades? He said, no, this is what was there in my college only. No, my college has got a bad name because of that. And truly, my own batch, we have got Supreme Court lawyers after mechanical engineering. And different people are doing different things. But the marga is more than the marga, it is the shraddha of the individual. So if you feel too many gods, you reduce the gods you want. You go, but you follow sincerely is what is there in the Gita Ji. Absolutely. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hare Krishna. Hari Om. Hari Om. Let us conclude. Hari Om. Namaste. Hari Om.